watched the ITV News last night, there was a bulletin on it all about theatre and the arts and the people working in it that have suffered. So if nothing else, this is the time to, often there's a bit of frustration with amateurs that could have been professional, or feel they could have been professional, but if ever there's a time to be thankful that you're not a professional, relying on your career, relying on your income to keep you going, it's now. Let me tell you, we've published it on our website, and I'm just going to read out a few points from the bulletin. 39% of theatre and arts workers have been made redundant at some point during the last year. 39%, that's nearly half. 20% have been unable to receive any financial support payment from the government, including the furlough and the Self-Employment Income Support Scheme, the SEISS. And 49%, so that is virtually half, say that payments were not big enough to cover their household bills. This is no surprise, really. More than 54% of workers have lost more than half their income during the last year. Nearly 60%, so we're getting on to two-thirds now, nearly 60% have considered quitting the industry altogether because of the impact of the pandemic. And nearly 40% of theatre and arts workers in London have been made redundant since the start of the coronavirus pandemic. And that was from ITV News. It's not funny, is it? It really isn't funny. And whether you're an amateur or a professional, you can really feel, being an amateur, we amateurs, we can really feel for the people that have taken the plunge to train and earn their living from doing what they love doing. Now, it also went on, Bryony Lemon, a freelance costume maker living in Brixton, who had been working on The Prince of Egypt at the Dominion Theatre when the pandemic struck and it had to close. She has been unable to find work for the past year, and she says she struggled to access the SEISS scheme despite being eligible. It's interesting, isn't it? She said, we've kind of been told by the government that your profession isn't valid, that it isn't worthy. Do you remember that? The viable thing? You're not viable, you might need to train for another profession. That infamous quote back in the, blimey, it was last year sometime now, wasn't it? There have been criticisms among many in the industry, including the Society of London Theatres, SALT, of a perceived lack of financial support for theatres from the government. Some venues were only able to open for a matter of weeks before the second wave of coronavirus ground London's West End to a halt again in December last year. Do you remember all the eat out to help out, we're going to open theatres again, blah blah blah, come December, all locked down again. So if nothing, even more money's been lost. Now Michael Ball, we all know Michael Ball, don't we? The West End superstar. He was rehearsing Hairspray, which is supposed to be opening obviously at the London Coliseum when London was put back into lockdown, and he says he knows several actors and theatre workers who lost their jobs. And he told ITV News, it's heartbreaking, it's a real commitment to even go into the industry in ordinary times. There are a few jobs, it's usually not hugely well paid, you only go in it because it's a calling, it's a passion. And then he added, we were the first to close, but we were the last to even be spoken about. And that is true, isn't it? Amateurs or professionals, the theatre industry is the last to be spoken about. But because it's reliant on the public going to see it, we're the first to suffer. And Michael Ball says that was frustrating and frightening. The government spokesperson, here we go, said, we have provided an unprecedented help for theatres and are working flat out to support them as they plan for reopening. The Culture Recovery Fund has allocated over 183 million for theatres to date, and further awards will be on their way following a £300 million budget boost, taking its total close to £2 billion. Individuals have also been able to receive help from the job support scheme that is continuing until September. Well, tell the people in the industry that, because I think there's no shortage of, I think that's just a bit of spiel from the government. Actually, there's no end of people moaning about the fact that they're unable to access funds. Anyway, and here's sardines. You know, we haven't published a printed magazine since April, May, which was already designed. Otherwise we would have had to shelve that as well. April, May last year, 2020, and our next one will be online, and it's April, May this year, and our next print issue will be June and July. So we'd have gone a whole year without publishing a single issue, because there's no one to buy it, no one to advertising it, and it just goes on like that. It's ridiculous. So if you can help us, and we really could do with some help, you know, what everyone's screaming for finance and money and stuff, and we're no different really, because we do work. We rely on the industry, the theatre and arts industry, for our income, because we publish a magazine. So if you can do it and you don't want to pay any money, just subscribe to this YouTube channel. It'll really help us out, and it doesn't cost you a penny to subscribe. That's the least you can do. Please, please, please. And if you subscribe and press the little bell next to it, you'll be notified when we upload one of these new videos, and then you can watch it if you want, or you can just bypass it. It doesn't matter. You can share the videos, so you go onto YouTube, press the share button, and share it to your Facebook account with your friends, and maybe your fellow society members. Share it with them, or Twitter, share it with anything, Instagram. You can embed it if you want, just whatever. You can do anything with it. And the last thing you can do is subscribe. And if you do want to give us some money, subscribe to our issue. We're producing some digital issues at the moment. We did one last August, one in December, one in Feb, and then it'll be April the 1st, and that's our next one. But it's digital only, so we're not receiving any money for it, no advertising money. We're just producing them to keep you going, really. So if you want to subscribe to that, £7.50 for 6 months, £12 for a year, and that gives you access to every single digital issue we've ever published, and every issue we've ever published, print or digital, because they're all online. You can download all the print PDFs and print them off if you want to, or just read them on your own at home. All the printed pages will be there for you to read, plus the cover stories are all online. And then just go from there if you can. But there we are. I've got some shout outs to do. I'm going to go through these as quick as possible, and it's a mixture of professional and amateur stuff, because everyone really is in the same boat. And I'm starting with the Wales Millennium Centre. These are companies and societies and shows that have just posted stuff on social media and sent stuff to us. Disney proudly invites you to be our guest as the most enchanted musical of all time. Beauty and the Beast comes to Cardiff in 2021. Tickets on sale to the public from 12 PM on the 31st of March, which won't be long to go. Now we'll put all the links to all this stuff down below this video. So otherwise, just go to YouTube or Facebook and type in Wales Millennium Centre or Disney's Beauty and the Beast, you know, the sort of thing, or all of that, and it'll come up. But otherwise, go to www.wmc.org.uk and it'll be there. Digswell Players in Hertfordshire. Digswell Players are back in action. Get ready to get excited. Our Zoom project, Book Club by Emma Northcott, will be released on YouTube next week on Friday the 26th of March at 7:30. And watch the teaser trailer now. Just click on the link below this video, or go to YouTube and click on Digswell Players Hertfordshire Book Club, I guess. Edward Alderton Theatre in Bexley Heath. Many thanks to our members and friends of the Edward Alderton Theatre for their wonderful performances in the recent online production of the Edward Alderton Theatre Presents An Evening of Lockdown Entertainment. The 35-minute show went out on YouTube on Saturday, February the 27th, so a little while ago. But again, go to YouTube, put in Edward Alderton Theatre, or put in An Evening of Lockdown Entertainment, and I'm sure it'll come straight up. But we'll put the link below this video. Andrew Lloyd Webber, you know him? He's quite a good musical composer. I can't believe it's been a whole year where a magnificent building like this has been closed. Filming this video made me even more determined to get my theatres open again as soon as possible. And Andrew has posted a video where he has a little look round some of his theatres and the London Palladium, that kind of thing. We'll put the link below this video. The Bloomsbury Theatre in London. On 16th of March 2000, the UK theatres closed. We all know that, don't we? That's over a year ago. A year on, they remain closed. Many theatre workers have had no financial support. They were the first into lockdown and will be the last out. That is absolutely true. Our last show was the UCL Dance Society before the curtains dropped. CTC. Yesterday marked the 1 year anniversary of our very last rehearsal. We are still so disappointed that our audience never got to see our production of Chicago. It's sad to think that 2021 will be the first in CTC's 51-year history. 51-year history, and this is not unique at all, this type of story, where we haven't staged at least one production in the year. We are currently busy working on our return, however, and we will be back in 2022 with a bang. Everyone's so positive, aren't they? So keep it up, guys, keep it up. But we put that in from CTC there because it is like societies all over the country, up and down the country, everywhere. The English Youth Ballet, I'm reading these because this is linked to some sort of audition and competition. We're happy to announce that we're offering a prize for Best Outstanding Performance of the Day from each Fabulous Dance Days, FDD, Swan Lake course. The prize consists of a bespoke, beautifully decorated autographed point shoe from Miss Janet Lewis MBE, and a beautifully crafted English Youth Ballet shoe bag. And we'll put pictures up of all this stuff. Throughout each Fabulous Dance Day, the teachers will be paying close attention to all of our talented attendees. We'll be looking for the dancer who so obviously enjoys their dancing and presents, that's an amateur by the way, and enjoys their dancing and presents the dances that they have learned with a beautiful movement quality and a pleasing personality. After each course, we will then pick one outstanding performer who will receive this prestigious prize. Make sure you book your FDD Swan Lake place now to have a chance of winning. And you can email fabdancedays@englishyouthballet.co.uk. We'll put the link below this video with the name, age and ballet grade of the student and your preferred date of attendance. Western Players, and in brackets, Swindon Amateur Dramatics. On the 14th of March 2020, we had our final night of Table Manners. That's lucky, isn't it? Just 2 days before theatres were ordered to close. We feel so lucky that we were able to put on our show and for you, and we can't wait to be back. And again, we've put that in because there's so many societies that are putting messages like this up. But it's so funny, isn't it? They're so thankful they produced something in its entirety and managed to finish it 2 days before lockdown, but they haven't produced anything for the last year, like everyone. Concord Theatricals UK, who of course own R&H, Samuel French, etc. These are a few of my favourite things. Treat your library with this delightful acting edition for The Sound of Music. For the first time ever, acting editions of Rodgers and Hammerstein's timeless musicals are available to buy. Pick up your copy at and we'll put the link below this again, but I'm sure that if you go to the website you can find it. Rodgers and Hammerstein in their own right have posted this. We joined with Young People's Chorus of New York City for a powerful collaboration in remembrance for 1 year since the city's first reported COVID-19 death. The group performs Rodgers and Hammerstein's beautiful classic You'll Never Walk Alone from Carousel, of course, in honour of those we have lost, and there's a Facebook link below this video, or go to Facebook, put in Rodgers and Hammerstein and you'll find it. Put in Lincoln Centre, You'll Never Walk Alone, and it'll come up, I'm sure. GDS Productions in Gillingham in Kent, 1960s. Here's Rhea bringing you her cover of Can't Help Falling in Love, a famous Elvis Presley hit, which was featured in Elvis's 1961 film Blue Hawaii. And we'll put a Facebook link below this to that video, and they've done a Did You Know? Elvis never performed outside of North America. This is a thing they've been doing at GDS throughout the decades. Elvis never performed outside of North America. An estimated 40% of Elvis's music sales have been outside the United States. However, with the exception of a handful of concerts he gave in Canada in '57, he never performed on foreign soil. A number of sources have suggested that Elvis's manager, Colonel Tom Parker, turned down lucrative offers for the singer to perform abroad because Parker was an illegal immigrant and feared that he wouldn't be allowed back into the US if he travelled overseas. Those were the days, eh? Those were the days. Altrincham Garrick Playhouse. Joseph Magan, artistic director, tells us, in 2016 I directed Romeo and Juliet here at Altrincham Garrick Playhouse. They're Little Theatre Guild members, by the way. I used to freelance as a professional director and would come here to regularly direct, until last year when I was offered the job of artistic director. When we produced Romeo and Juliet, we also filmed it, and I'm really excited to say that we're streaming it from the 18th to the 22nd and the 25th to the 29th of March this year, for a £10 ticket or £15 for a household ticket, and we'll put a link below this very video to that. But otherwise, go to www.altrinchamgarrick.co.uk. I'm just going to whip through these names because there have been some also messages of support, positivity, we'll be back, that kind of thing, or last in, first out, first out, last in it'll be, won't it? From Equity, Jermyn Street Theatre in the West End, Lawrence Batley Theatre, Shakespeare's Globe, Sophie Louise Dan has posted something, Harrogate Theatre, New Wimbledon Theatre, Kerry Ellis, the famous West End's leading lady who played Alphaba. Playwriting UK has got... Playwriting UK on Facebook, their Facebook page, gets so many uploads, so many posts, it's unbelievable. The Phantom of the Opera, which is interesting because that production, according to Cameron McIntosh, was permanently closed, so I presume they've made all the workers redundant from there, so there's no furlough going on. But Andrew Lloyd Webber insists it's being redesigned in its original format, and it's going to be brought back as well this summer. Sadler's Wells, BBC Arts, Belgrade Theatre, Coventry, The Stage, Newspaper, Brentwood Theatre, Mount View Theatre Arts, Little Angel Theatre. And that's probably just a snapshot of what goes on, and there is more to come. If you've got something that you'd like shouted out, just send us an email. News is here. Look, news@sardinesmagazine.co.uk. Otherwise, we'll put a link to that as well below this video. And please subscribe to everything you can. Digital Issues, this YouTube channel. You know the score, all the rest of it. But stay safe, stay well. We will be back. See you Friday. Bye for now.